All right, guys, well, it's time to prune the roses. We know it's time to prune the roses because the buds are starting to swell up. And actually, I'm even a little bit late because the buds are even starting to turn into foliage. So the best time to prune your roses in the springtime is when you see those buds swelling up, turning red or pink. So I'm here in eastern Pennsylvania in Chester County, Zone 6B, and for me, today is the day to do the pruning. Spring is when we want to accomplish the bulk majority of our pruning for our roses. Outside of springtime, really the only pruning that we'll ever do is to remove rose hips on plants when we are trying to encourage continual blooming rather than going into the rose hip producing phase of its life. Pruning roses is really not that hard. It can be intimidating, but once you've done it a few times, there's really just a few things you want to follow. And I'm gonna show you guys everything you need to know so that you can have the confidence to prune your rose with ease year after year. All right, so we're gonna start with the low-hanging fruit. That's going to be removing any dead wood. Now here you can see the difference between a dead wood and the living wood is definitely the color. You can even break that dead wood off just by using your fingers like that. You always wanna use nice sharp shears, and you can see just cut away anything that is not living. And while you're scanning your plant, if you see any broken or damaged branches, that's also low-hanging fruit, get rid of that. Now you can see right here, this section right here is definitely alive with those buds, whereas this section right here has clearly died over the winter time. So what you'll do in those areas is to just simply remove that away. So the ultimate goal when we're pruning our roses is to create a nice open vase-like form that's going to allow for ample airflow for your rose, which is very important. So the next thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna travel to the base of the plant and remove anything that is very thin, like less thick than a pencil, or anything that is traveling inwards. We don't want growth inwards because we want that vase-like shape outwards, all right? So here you can see a good example of something that's growing inwards rather than growing outwards. So we're gonna remove stuff like that. We're also going to remove small little things like this, which really serve no purpose, as well as things like this, because we want our canes, which canes are what we call rose stems. We want our canes to be nice and thick and strong to hold up to the elements and to hold up as many flowers as possible. So we'll also go ahead and remove things like this as well. Now you may be saying to yourself, well, all of the growth on my rose is really thin and twiggy and doesn't look very thick. Well, that would definitely be the case on new baby roses. And so this is actually in its third season, and this is the first time that I'm actually going to be going through and pruning this guy. You definitely can wait 1 or even 2 years before you prune your roses for the first time. So let's go ahead and remove those branches that are going inwards and all of that small little twiggy growth. And whenever we are making cuts, we always want to do our best to make the cut at an angle, a 45-degree angle. That way, when we get our rain, the water will simply flow off of those cut stems rather than just staying on that cut, which can obviously create some rot. Now, as you're making cuts, if you're unsure whether or not the section that you cut off is alive or dead, you simply just need to look at where you cut, and if it looks nice and white with a nice thin green layer around the outside, that means yes, it is in fact alive. If on the other hand it is brown and just lifeless, then you want to continue cutting down further until you reach that nice white fleshy area. All right, so now that we've removed all of that weak, twiggy, spindly growth at the base of the plant, we're going to determine kind of a general height that we want to cut the rest of our canes at. That's going to help to create a nice, strong foundation, and that's going to also allow for a nice uniform growth habit. If you don't care about a uniform growth habit, then you can just kind of skip this section altogether. For me, I like a nice bushy vase-like open growth. So I'm going to just choose a subjective area right around here. And then once I've chosen that height that I like, I'm going to cut all of this remaining growth to around that height. So once we've determined the height that we want to cut them out, we want to look at those stems and find the buds around that height that are facing outwards. These would be a good example of buds that are facing outwards rather than emanating from this inner side, which that would promote growth that way. But because these are on the outside, that's going to promote growth this way and that way. So we'll take our sharp shears and we will cut just like this at our 45-degree angle. And there you go. Those buds will now grow outward. All right, so I see one of these pink red buds, these nubs in the stem that's facing outwards. So that's where I'm gonna cut just above it so that the new growth comes that way, all right? That is the objective now. And if you're cutting the stems and they're not exactly all the same height, that's a-okay, as long as they're in a close range. So here you can see I got a bud here, it's facing in the correct direction, so I'm gonna cut just above it, all right? Now you just travel all the way around your shrub, finding buds that face in the correct direction, and you make cuts just as so. And if you continue to find any weak, spindly growth that remains, you can also remove it at this point as well. So here you see a bud facing towards the camera, which is the direction we want it to grow. I'll cut it right there. I have this little section here that's growing inwards, so I'm gonna remove that altogether. This little growth right here is nice and spindly, so I'm gonna cut this section out, cut this section out. Here I have a nice bud facing outwards, so I wanna go there. Another nice bud here. When you get to these center sections, you can just kind of make a subjective cut that makes sense to you. I have some weak growth here. I'll remove that. This guy is just kind of small, so I'll just cut him down a little further. That's okay. I'll cut this guy a little further as well. And I can cut this guy off. And I'll cut right here. And this one looks still a little bit tall, so I'll just cut this guy off too. And down here, this does not really look necessary, so I'll just go ahead and remove that. This guy looks a little bit weak. I'll cut him. I'll go ahead and cut this guy. All right, that's pretty much it. Now the last step is to simply clean up all of your refuse. I just take it right to the trash because I don't like to have those thorns in my compost piles. And this is also a great time to add some slow release fertilizer to the base of your plant. Now you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 canes remaining, and that's a good number. I like to keep mine between 5 and 10 canes. That allows for a nice, strong, healthy plant that never gets a little bit out of control. And you can see I definitely did quite a lot of pruning, but these roses are so resilient that even if I were to make some mistakes in my pruning, they're gonna grow back perfectly fine, and they'll overcome any errors that you may have made in pruning by the following season. So you can always rest assured that your plant is gonna be fine, all right? So hopefully now you have a little bit more confidence and assurance in your abilities to prune your roses, and now you can just sit back and enjoy the blooms to come. All right, guys, I'll catch you soon. Ciao.